We'll finally begin our session. Our speaker is with us. He's just So good evening, everyone. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all to this modern era of virtual TEDx that you can attend from the comfort of your own warm houses. And none would know if you're in your pajamas today. My name is Aishwarya and I will be the host for today's sequence. Let me tell you a story so that all attendees can join in. And later I will introduce our guest speaker for today's webinar. Once Henry David Thoreau said that the mass of men lead the lives of quiet desperation. Most of us is the feeling that we are wasted, surrounded by the stagnant bad habits and destructive behavioral patterns that we have solidified over the years, giving rise to our plan on being anything less than what we are capable of makes us lead unfulfilled and miserable lives. So the question is, fears and pursue our truest selves. For the healthiest and the most amongst us are those who are motivated by self. Gather here to philosophize about how to escape this and pursue our truest self, sow dreams and reap success, which perspire to pursue. That is our theme for today's webinar, which will be further brought by Dr. Himanshu Talwar. And we are pleased to welcome Dr. Himanshu Talwar. He is the winner of Indian Achiever Awards 2020 and 7 his leadership, entrepreneurship, and his significant contribution towards the management, legal, and vocational education. Today, he will be sharing with us his expert views on how to live a sincerely modern life. For that, give your full attention to Dr. Talwar and help me in welcoming him. Views. Himanshu sir, please enlighten us.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for your warm words of welcome. I can't say how delighted I am today that I have been communicating with the event organizers from a long time, and finally for kicking off this event. And the most fortunate part is that I am the first speaker who will be taking on this journey of growth, on this journey of self-actualization, and on this journey of understanding your life. So please put your mic on mute because sometimes screen flips in between. So please put your mic on. So and allow me to take you on this small journey, a journey about life, a journey about a sincerely modern life. We all call ourselves modern, we all call ourselves sincere, and we say a lot of things. But the real journey, a small journey, but a real journey, and allow me to take you from my own experiences, whatever I've learned from the entire country, I would like to say that place modern next to any word. Add modern starts appealing to people. Just because you have added modern, the phrase starts appealing to everyone. The mere mention of modernity engages people like no other word. Yes, just a mention that modernity, and mere mention of modernity engages people like no other. Modernity is an age, an era, period associated with technology, innovation, and advancement. Yes, it's an age which is associated with technology, innovation, and advancement. Modernity is an attitude, a way of living, combination of socio-cultural norms. Yes, a way of living, combination of socio-cultural norms. However, our view of modernity has reduced only to owning the newest gadget, that I own this, I own that, in the market. wearing the trendiest outfit. So for us, modernity means, I own this so-called world's best gadget, or I wear these brands. That's it. But this is superficial and very narrowed view of modernity. You must understand, this is a very narrow view. Modernity is way more than how polished you look. It is more about the values. It is a mix of value system. So it is more about values we possess, the skills we hone, and the society that we are aiming to build. Yes. So values, skills, and the society that we are aiming to build. Since modernity is an agglomeration of pivotal components of an individual's life, modernity is more often than not complex in its own complexity. Modernity turns to turn paradoxical. Yes, it is complex in its own complexity. It tends to turn paradoxical. The youth of now has narrowed down the real meaning of modernity, and they tend to look at modernity through a pinhole. It is a mistake. Yes, unfortunately, it is a mistake. They don't acknowledge because they don't know that they are making one. So from that pine hole, when you look at it, it's a mistake. But all of us sometimes, we don't acknowledge because we don't know that we are making one. So in today's youth needs to be informed of the illusionary modernity that they are following. It's an illusion, an illusionary modernity that you are following. People need to get up from their seats and start looking at things in a different way. Need to adapt an I can attitude and strive to actually understand the real concept of modernity. This I can attitude can do wonders for you. But for that, you need to get up from your seats and start looking at things in a different way. Modernity is innovating your values, adapting them according to the conditions around you. So you innovate, you adopt, and then you change the conditions around you. Modernity is picking up skills that allow you to fit into this massive and beautiful society, and using these skills to our society. Yes, the idea is whatever you are developing, whatever you are making, whatever you are aiming to build, it should reflect, it should be going to the society. So the massive and the beautiful society you are referring to, your skills, it should go back to our society. Our view of modernity does not consider the adopt. We should not stick to those only to those liberal values we have to adopt. Our view of modernity still seems conservative. Our modernity is ancient ruins of our past. Yes, our modernity still lies in the ancient ruins of our past. That's the irony of democracy. Seem to follow, but the modernity we should actually seek isn't ironic at all. Sometimes in life, taking a step realize, yes, taking a step back will make you realize you have taken the wrong turn. Most of us think that if you're taking a step back, perhaps think it's the wrong turn and walk we have walked down a wrong lane, that we have chosen the wrong path. But you can still retrace your step and go back to the junction, and this time go down the right path. Yes, going back doesn't mean choosing the wrong path. Perhaps you are giving yourself an opportunity that let me explore the right path. It could be a wrong lane initially. You think that it could be a wrong path, but you are giving an opportunity to yourself. That is what modernity is. Seek the true meaning of modernity and strive to learn about the paradoxical of modernity. And maybe then you shall find yourself living a sincerely modern life in a truly modern world. This is a very small, very talk which I wanted to share with all of you, and I hope I have changed your attitude to an extent towards the so-called word modernity. And I can is the attitude which is very much required. So live your sincere modern life, sincere modern world. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for helping us expanding our views on modernity, and we will try to act upon it in our lives. So we will now begin with the question and answer part of this webinar. If you have any anything to say to Dr. Talwar, please write down in the chat box so that Dr. Talwar can address those questions.
I would be glad to take up your questions. If you have any questions, please, everyone.
They will take some time to type down the question as well.
Not an issue. Not an issue.
So since people ask questions, I would like to ask you one thing. That you talked about the materialism side of modernity. And nowadays we see that all the youngsters are, driving all new gadgets and new vehicles and all. They have completely mistaken the idea of modernity. It could have helped us in achieving great success in science or any other fields, but people are using it in a different way. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, let me just first answer. I think Nitish
Sure,
has raised a question. Nitish, I do webinars regularly, but yes, this is my first TEDx webinar. TEDx, yes. And then Gajan, how do you compare modernity with beauty? See, modernity is an art, modernity is a science, modernity is a law. So comparing modernity is and with beauty is, I can say that it can be beauty also. You can be modern in your own way, in a very beautiful way. So modernity should not be limited, as I said in the beginning of my webinar, that modernity should not be limited and restricted to that it's a modern word, it's a gadget or in sense. No, modernity could be just beautiful thoughts of your mind. Modernity could be the way you look. Modernity could be accepting culture and going back to your roots. That I am modern enough to understand my culture, to contribute in my culture, to go back and tell people that I am from this place, I like this food, I like these kind of clothes. That is also modernity. Modernity doesn't mean following the fast life. Modernity doesn't mean that because you own a gadget, you don't want to go out and have good time with family and you don't want to cherish those moments which can actually change your life. So do not limit it. I would say modernity is everything. Modernity could be looking every morning from a different perspective. That could also be modernity. Okay, Arundhati. Sometimes people find it difficult to accept modern thoughts and they stick to their thoughts. Would like to hear you. As I said, Arundhati, you cannot convince anyone that he or she is modern or not. You cannot impose your rules or regulations or restrictions that you are modern or you're not modern. Modernity, living a sincere life means that it could be my excuse, for example, that I'm saying that I follow this, only these traditions I follow. But in my speech, I mentioned that sometimes you just have to tell the person, perhaps share your own experience, that going a step back and understanding the how things are changing, how the world is changing, and again coming back could be example of modernizing or accepting the modernity. So modernity has nothing to do with your limited views, expanded views, or say any thoughts, but yes, in a way, modernity gives you an opportunity to reinvent, re-understand, and perhaps re-energize yourself. Yes, Aishwarya, your question, please. I was just reading the chat actually. Yes, please, could you kindly repeat your question? Thank you, Arundhati. Aishwarya, you're not audible. Unmute yourself.
So you talked
Yes.
about the materialism, and materialism is broaden its horizons in this modern era. But people think that modernity is only about new gadgets and new clothes and everything. So do you think that it's somewhere restricted the growth in science or any other invention in the field of medical sciences? People are
Yes.
yes, yes.
Go ahead.
People are going towards the materialistic side of modernity and not the other one.
See, I have traveled extensively. This is just my personal experience I'm sharing. And I have come across people from different countries, from different religions, from perhaps different culture and different way of living. And within them, amongst them, I have come across people who have adopted practices of different culture and religions, living a very happy, fulfilled life. Now, what happens is, what I'm trying to connect here is that modernity should not be a material thing. As I said, that what will happen that which car you drive, which gadget you are using, or which brands you're wearing, or which store you're visiting defines modernity. No, there are thousands of people who have all these things, and you come across two, three individuals in your life who are simply beautiful in their own way, who are just perhaps following their own tradition or culture, or perhaps their own dressing sense. So those, in the so-called materialistic world, those people will be the real modern people because they decided that they'll stick to their roots, they'll follow what they like, and still they'll live a modern. They'll probably drive a better car one day. They'll probably wear same clothes, buy a same gadget. Their thoughts has nothing to do with the culture or the people they are living with. So that's modernity. Accepting what you are and then reflecting what you are. Just not keeping it to yourself. Okay, I hope I've answered Ashwarya your question.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, RJ. Considering the diminishing human values in the modern world, we are feel lost or likely to spiral into disorders of anxiety and depression. If yes, then how does one overcome it? Very nice question. See, challenges and whatever issues are there, they are not inside you, they are outside. And sometimes, in order to become or call ourselves an individual, we inculcate or I would say, take it inside us, the challenges and issues, which has nothing to do with us. Now, when these kind of issues or challenges or the so-called, publicly driven agendas, which they enter inside you, they create this anxiety. They take you to a different world and they fight with your thoughts. Here comes your own modernity. Your own modernity says that that person is like that person is like that, I am like that. I may follow or may not follow what he's saying, but I have to accept the world. When we do not accept thoughts, they take over our mind, and then the result of that is anxiety and depression. So before imbibing anything, before taking anyone's view, and basically start following them, one must understand that you are modern in your own way. You don't need anyone to come or define you or tell in the sense that handhold you that this is the modern world, come with me. No, you're modern in your own way. You're living your own life. You're studying, you have your own peer group and circles. You just have to reflect that you are modern from the inside. It should not always, as you said, Aishwarya, it should not always be materialistic. It should be who you are. And you can always overcome such kind of anxiety and depressions if you walk away from these. I hope, RJ, I've answered your questions. Great show. Thank you, Nitish. Yes, sure. Anything else you want to ask?
I don't have any questions, so let people ask if they have any other query.
Yes, sir, you have. Thank you for resolving my doubts. Thank you, RJ. Where spirituality stands in modernity? Okay, Ashwarya, you have to put your mic on mute, please. Okay. Yes, Arundhati, very nice question. See, first of all, a modern person, in order to understand the modernity, you must understand your spiritual side. Are you actually spiritual? Are you actually spiritual? What is your definition? What happens is that we read something and we think that what we have read is my thought. these are, and I should follow these thoughts. That's exactly what spirituality is. For some, spirituality is visiting their religious places. For some, spirituality is staying at home and reading text, ancient texts, and do their uh, worship and whatever. And for some, spirituality is connect with the outside world in a different way altogether. For some, spirituality comes from traveling. For some, spirituality could be understanding themselves. Now, the definition of spirituality, like modernity, is different for everyone, and that's where the so-called spirituality and modernity join hands and help an individual to grow in life. You know how? Because when you accept the modern side of yourself, you know that spiritually you are active. You're not blaming anyone, you're not fighting with anyone, you're just who you are. You're spiritually active and you have your modern side well inside you, active also. So spirituality and modernity, I would say, in my views, goes hand in hand. And a modern person could be equally spiritual if we say that somebody who is orthodox over it. So spirituality, you have to understand, you have to have a definition of spirituality, and then modernity will definitely supplement that. Thank you.
Guys, if you have any other query or questions, please ask. Otherwise, we'll wind up the session.
Thank you, Arundhati. So it was, for me, I would say, a very wonderful session. And I would like to congratulate the team behind these, people who have done, worked really hard and who have been, I was following them and they were following up with me. And I was chasing them, they were chasing me. Things in between, a lot of time went by and this corona came and a lot of things. But still, I hats off to your commitment that you decided to kick off the event. And I wish you all good luck. And in case I can be of any help, I'm available on social media search. I would be glad to answer your queries and support you in case you have any doubts, anything I can help you with.
Thank you so much, sir, for your appreciation, and thank you so much for your time as well. I would like to thank my audience too for joining us today for this session. I would like to remind you that we are conducting a series of webinars. So please be in that WhatsApp group so that we can information for further webinars. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shreya. Thank you, Harshita. Thank you all for joining in. I wish you. Thank you.